Hey, Josh, let me regale you with the story of the Guacamole Bandit.
The Guacamole Bandit?
Yeah.
What's the Guacamole Bandit?
Someone that attacked our house today. Unbeknownst to anyone, even including the Guacamole Bandit.
Oh.
Didn't even know.
You do realize, like, I used to make guacamole for a living, right?
Yes, but were you capable of eating guacamole without wearing it?
Hey, Harper.
I mean, 100%.
Because Sky is not. She got guac on her shirt, came into the kitchen where Brooke and I were talking, hugged Brooke from behind, hugged me from the front,
You need sweatshirts,
and
actually.
she got guac on both of us. Chiek, 1, 2.
Chickadee China.
Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and
Your brain starts ticking.
Like watching X-Files with no lights on.
Dude, I learned a lot about our cryptid for December.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
I also started doing German Duolingo to try to help pronunciations for half of them.
Josh is going to sound really angry today.
Ja,
That's 9 in chicken.
Wasser. Tschüss. That's how you say sorry in German is Tschüss. But it's like TSHU umlaut something like it's longer than the English word for yes.
I think you just cursed me.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know very little German. 9.
Bitte.
Guten Tag.
Fraulein.
Yeah, most of the stuff that I know that sounds like remotely German is actually the really poor attempts of the guys in Band of Brothers to speak German to the German people when they were there. So they're like, "Kommen Sie hier, kommen Sie hier now." They're like yelling at them, but it's all like it's Jinglish, you know.
Yeah. Instead of Spanglish, it's
Yeah,
Jinglish.
Jinglish.
That sounds like something a very southern person would say.
What?
Like Jinglish.
Oh yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Do you speak Jinglish?
Speak American. We don't speak none of that Jinglish around here. Josh brought me a Blueberry biscuit today. That was delicious. Thank you.
Oh, of course. Like I said, it was an apology for all of the ums and ands and so's and likes that he has to record out of our episodes. I was looking, through our buddy ChatGPT, asking him, some would you rather questions, him or
Good friend.
it, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Ask it right now, chat. What do you identify as?
I don't want to open up that can of worms. Would you rather be chased by a swarm of bees once a week or wake up every morning with glitter all over you?
The bees, 100%. I hate glitter with a passion.
It's like sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
It does get everywhere. That's the worst part, and it never goes away.
Right.
What was the stipulation? So you could be chased by a swarm of bees
Once a week or
or
every morning wake up with glitter all over you.
No, give me bees all day long. I don't even care if they're like those African killer bees.
Well, the problem with those is they'll even if you jump in water, they'll stay right where you jump in water.
Yeah, I'd rather drown than wake up with glitter.
That's fair.
on me
That's
every day.
100% fair.
So, a quick story related to that
Okay.
is, if you recall, when we moved up here to Ohio, I was driving a 2004 Silverado.
Right.
That was my father's truck that when I graduated from college, he gave it to me as a gift, right?
Okay.
And so that was like when Brooke and I were first married. I was driving it from basically 2008 all the way until I don't remember how many years ago it was now, but but that truck, when my sister was in high school, she borrowed that truck from my dad for her and her friend. I think it was Lindsay, but it was one of her friends that was on the softball team with her at that point in time, to go somewhere. And they were, I forget what they were making. It was either shirts or like signs for a softball tournament or something they were, or a wrestling tournament for their boyfriends, whatever. I don't remember what the whole deal was. But my sister was driving in the truck with a container of fine glitter open, had to jam the brakes. The glitter thing flew forward and coated the truck. Like a LT package, so it's leather interior, and there's glitter everywhere, right? To the day that my dad traded that truck in,
Was still finding glitter everywhere.
there were flecks of glitter like ground into the steering wheel, in the seats. Like there was like little pieces of glitter that were just like embedded in things because it's impossible to get them out.
Right.
Like, Like you would destroy the leather trying to pick out all the little pieces of glitter that were in there and stuff. And so I have a very strong disdain for glitter in general.
Right. And that's a really good prank to pull on somebody too.
Yeah.
Like the flour in the hairdryer, but you do like a little thing of glitter in the vent of the...
Oh, that's diabolical.
Don't do that.
No, yeah, don't do that to anybody. But
if you do, record it and send it to
Have
me.
you seen those cards? Dude, that when people open the card, it like springs out glitter everywhere.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite times of year to watch shorts and like TikTok and stuff like that because of the porch pirate rigged packages.
Yeah.
Oh, those are so great.
But now we got have you seen all the stinking AI ones? It's like the colored dye things that are blowing up on people, but it's not real.
Yeah.
That's so lame to me.
There's a guy that engineered
Mark Rober.
Is it?
Yeah, he made the package that kind of looked like the original one, looked like a Bluetooth speaker thing.
Yeah.
And when they would slide the top off of it, it would be like Kevin McAllister like laughing at him, and then it would spray glitter and skunk spray all over the place.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, Mark Rober's the guy that does that because we used to watch his videos on YouTube all the time, and every year he'd have the porch pirate thing come out again.
Dude,
he got to the point where he started tracking them though.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, he had cell phones and like a tracking device inside of the thing so that he got a 4-way view. So no matter what side they opened the package from, he got a good shot of them getting the glitter and the skunk spray and all that. He added like strobing lights that were like police lights, a siren, like all kinds of crazy stuff to it. But part of that was that he could track them, and he actually got with a team and went out and like hunted these people down to figure out where they had gone and stuff. So yeah, it was. I think it was. Those videos are hilarious.
Dude, those are legitimately the best.
All right, we ready to fire this bad boy off?
Let's do this.
Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Josh.
Recognize me? No? Well, I'm Josh.
I got suspended from school because of Josh.
You could be there with me in every way imaginable, Josh.
Josh is truly in a trance, yeah.
I went to high school with Josh, and I can tell you right now, he's a terrific kisser.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Josh, these are people's jobs we're talking about, Josh.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Josh walking in the door wasn't even close.
Josh, you are a muffin-snuggling pirate puncher.
Josh is a good guy. We can talk to him.
Please welcome Joshua.
Josh!
Today is the final episode for the month of November. I got to keep them straight
This is
in my head.
Thanksgiving week right here.
It is Thanksgiving week. If you're listening to this,
Happy Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving. You made it. We hope that you have all the best food this week.
Yes.
But if you've been around for long enough, you know that at the end of each month, our last episode of the month always includes our listener comments.
Yes, it does.
And so Josh and I have done the work of combing through, finding all the comments that we have.
We had some good ones this month.
We did. We had a lot of them this month too, which is a great thing. We want to thank you for leaving your comments. But this is going to be comments from episode 41 to episode 45. Just so in case you're like trying to keep track of where we are on that. It's 41 to 45. The next time we do comments, it'll be 46 to 50. Yep. I had to stop and think about it for a second because 50 will be our last one.
For the season.
Yeah. So as we get ready to get started, we're gonna be kicking it all the way back to episode 41. One of the questions that we asked in episode 41 was, you asked me, would you rather go to the past and when you arrive you're naked, or like the ability to time travel back to the past and every time you do that you're naked when you arrive, or the ability to time travel to the future, but
and
every time you arrive
you were a clown.
you're dressed as a clown.
So like technically, wouldn't you end up getting both? Because you time travel back, you're naked, and then when you travel back to your original time, would you be dressed as a clown?
That's a solid question.
Like I don't know why it took me until now to think about that, but I was like, ooh, wait, loophole.
Depends on how you view the rules.
Right,
If I'm just moving back to zero does it count as going forwards? But so Zach was the first one to leave a comment on this one, and his was very funny. He said, the past, if you go back far enough, everybody will be naked too.
Which is a completely valid point.
That's
a
true.
completely valid point.
I mean, if you make it all the way back to the garden, I suppose it's going to be you and Adam and Eve just there in your birthday suits.
Right. And it also depends on where you travel to. So,
yeah.
I mean, ancient Greece, like, the Olympics, they ran completely in the nude. So
wild.
It is when you think about it, that is completely wild. All right, and Lisa also commented on that, and it says the question is whether or not I'm a Terminator in this hypo. If I'm a Terminator, past Sarah Connor, you've been warned, which is a great and honestly,
she's
a lot of
working
people
under the stipulation that she's a robot from the future sent back to eliminate someone,
which is a great call in, because that was kind of what my mind was thinking, is like, oh, you're just the Terminator in that scenario.
Yeah. Yep. We're getting a lot of really good insight into our listeners through this question, too, because Joe Bodner also picked going to the past naked.
Right.
He said, I'd pick going to the past naked. I'm already a clown, according to my Lisa Bodner, who was the comment before this. That's his wife. And so he said, so showing up in the future dressed as one would just be business as usual.
Right.
It's pretty solid logic there. I like that.
Right. And Jordan said, my thoughts immediately when I see those rapture predictions. Oh, this is a different.
Another thing that we talked about was the predictions for the rapture and all that kind of kooky stuff that was going on.
But yeah, so that's the one where we covered the Great Disappointment.
Yeah, the Great Disappointment. So we talked all about the people who were waiting back in the early, like the kind of mid 1800s on the return of Jesus. They were out on hilltops singing in their white robes and stuff.
The 7th month Adventist.
Well, it was it was like the 7-month something, and then it eventually turned into the Seventh-day Adventist. Yeah.
And so he said, my thoughts immediately when I see those rapture predictions is always the same. Well, I know it's not going to be that day.
That's right, yeah.
And I know you said the same thing. Like, you can go to the calendar, X that day off. It ain't going to be that day.
That's exactly what I do. Every time I see one of these guys step up and is like, this is the day and time the Lord's going to return, I'm like, well, go mark that one off.
Right.
You know?
But
thanks, bud.
It's always like my dumb human brain was like, what if that was supposed to be a day? And he's like, well, I can't do that one. I gotta cross that one off too.
Well, I just thought it'd be funny if we get to heaven and God's like, you guys know that we could have like totally done the rapture thing like way ahead of time if you guys would have stopped like saying that it was going to happen any day now. Going into episode 42, the first comment we had on that one was Kevin Kruff said, I'm already awkward, so the where's my butt piece would just be status quo.
Right. And that was, every time you enter a room, you have to yell, where's my butt? And what was the other one for that one?
I was trying to think of the opposing one there, because you picked the yelling, where's my butt?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what the other one was.
I can't either.
Maybe Joe will give us some insight in the next comment and stuff like that. But that part of that question was just like, every time you enter into a room, you have to scream, where's my butt? I'm trying to remember what the other one was on that one. I'll have to look back on it. But yeah, Joe said in his response, he said, I'd definitely choose yelling, where's my butt every time I walk into a room. Sure, people would stare, but that's a small price to pay to make absolutely sure I never have to lick Matt Damon's poop potatoes.
You lick everything before you buy it.
And Joe, again, the throwbacks to
the Martian
poop potato comments is always welcome.
So great. So great. Zach said, finally I can yell, where's my butt when I walk into a room and it be acceptable. Right?
It's like the long pause and then, right? So my wife, Brooke, said, 100% lick everything before I bought it. My ADHD takes me to different rooms too often, so I'd be saying, where's my butt every 5 seconds. Plus, I meet with too many clients, and, well, I can't imagine I'd be able to keep those clients if I screamed, where's my butt every time I walked into a meeting. So, Brooke thinking about it from the perspective of meeting with
being
people
business professional.
Yeah. Gosh, we get it. You're a professional.
So I want to hold off on this comment from Savannah, because I want to kind of go into something.
Yeah, that's fair.
With that. So
just for the future part of this, when we get to this comment, I want to be clear. I had to screenshot and include a picture of what was going on with this one. So we'll dive into that in a minute.
Yeah.
I made a comment in our episode when we talked about
hills that we would die. It was the hills that we would die on.
Yeah, it was like hills that we would die on, or something that we had like strong opinions on.
Or don't get me started. Don't get me started. That's what it was.
Yeah, at the beginning of that one. And so one of the things that I threw out there that was partially a joke was I said that Taylor Swift is the Antichrist, and Jordan McKeithen commented and said Taylor Swift is 100% the Antichrist. I'm pretty sure that Jordan's also joking, just to be clear about that, but maybe she is.
We don't know.
All
right. Lynette Francis said on one of our comments, I've never seen an episode of The Office. And there's more. I've never watched an episode of Seinfeld, The Walking Dead, or SNL.
Which is crazy to me.
So, okay, I'm with you with The Walking Dead. I couldn't make it out of season 1.
Really?
I think I got to season 1, episode 2, where the one dude's sitting in the upstairs window, like just picking off zombies with the sniper rifle, and then he sees his wife, and then like it kind of goes back to his house and they're trying to get in and stuff. Like I legitimately, it was boring to me.
That's interesting to me.
And I love zombie movies. Like that's like one like quote unquote horror genre that's not like psychological horror that I fully commit to.
Walking Dead, I actually made it like all the way until Negan was out of the scene and stuff, and then after that, like once Negan was gone, in my opinion, then it just became too repetitive. They started like it was the same storyline just rehashed over again, and I was like, I don't want to do that anymore.
It's one of those things where like a lot of shows, like I wish that they would just go out on top.
Right.
Like there's a lot of shows that like continued way too long.
Sometimes you get to like 4 seasons, and that's where it should have stopped. The Office is a prime example of that.
Right.
I mean, The Office, like from the moment that they started phasing Michael Scott out, that show took a dive.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some people that like the Will Ferrell and that couple seasons where he was in it, but I
didn't care for it at all.
I don't
I
mind
watched it, but
and I know I've said this before, like I haven't watched a huge amount of The Office. Like I've just seen little clips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it just never did anything for me. But the hijinks that Jim always plays on Dwight, like obviously those are the mainstays of the show, and
for sure.
So, but
I just find
SNL is the big
though,
one.
That Lynette like hasn't seen an episode of The Office, Seinfeld, or The Walking Dead.
Right.
Seinfeld, to be honest with you, is kind of the most amazing one of those, just because even when Seinfeld went off the air, it
was in syndication.
Yeah, it was
everywhere.
in syndication everywhere because it was a good show. I mean, like it's undeniable. Like you can't watch Kramer slide through that door enough. And
well, the fact that it leaned into what it was a show about nothing.
Yeah,
and like when they were doing the pilot for their show, it was literally rehashing their own show.
Right.
It was kind of breaking that fourth wall without having to break the fourth wall and make it obvious.
Yep. The Saturday Night Live thing, she said she's seen tidbits of it. Like, I'm sure she's probably seen clips of it. But I just remember, man, back in the day when it was Sandler and Foley and even before those guys.
Rob Schneider and
Farley, I meant to say. Foley was his character.
Yeah, Mick Foley.
But yeah, I just remember all those guys from back in the day and how good Saturday Night Live used to be. It's made a little bit of a resurgence, in my opinion, with Michael Shea and I can't draw a blank on his name. Yeah, the guy that he does the news with,
where they do like they read each other's jokes.
The thing where they write each other's jokes for him and they don't see him ahead of time. That is
classic.
Hilarious. Very, very good. So, but yeah, like it's just amazing to me that those are 3 big shows to not have seen any of them.
It's funny if you go in the cycles of SNL when it's popular.
Yeah.
You always have a good daily or weekend update.
Yep.
Like I think the seasons that have really good weekend updates are the best seasons.
Yeah.
Because it kind of carries the load through the show. I mean, again, with the early 90s with that huge heavy hitter cast, Will Ferrell, all those guys.
Dude.
Like I remember going and buying the best of DVDs.
Yeah.
The Chris Farley best of, the Will Ferrell best of is hilarious with the Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yeah,
all those are.
I also purchased legally downloaded all the seasons of the early
435,000 viruses.
Yeah, no, I had somebody else do the legwork for me, so all my stuff was clean, but it was great. The next one that we get into is,
and I think the question for this prompt was, what are some hills that you would die on?
Yeah. So this is Joe Bodner, and he said, "I've got too many to count. But here are my top 5 in no particular order. Number 1, if humans need a warning to not eat Tide Pods, maybe natural selection should have a say in things." Total agreement.
Like 100% agree. I had this conversation at work. I think we need to remove warning labels off of things and just let nature sort it out.
Yeah. But the problem is that the warnings aren't there because people are too stupid to like do these things. The warnings are there is because people are dumb enough to do the things and then sue the company because they're stupid. Because the person is stupid, not the company, just to be clear.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with the whole system is that they had to start putting all these stupid warning labels and everything so they don't get sued.
Right, for frivolous lawsuits and things like that.
Stupid. The second one he's got on, you want to read that one?
Yeah, some parents aren't terrible. Their kids just suck, which...
To a degree.
I can kind of get behind that, but... sometimes you are a reflection of your parents or lack thereof.
Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes it's a matter of like, yes, there can be things with a kid that maybe causes that kid to be a little bit rotten to some degree, but at the same time, that's where it's the duty of a parent to step in and lovingly guide that child into a better way of doing things and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely for sure that some kids are definitely harder to raise and harder to deal with than other kids are.
Right.
Number 3 on there says most people aren't unmotivated; they're just stuck living lives they don't actually like. Which is
oof.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, you get stuck in that rat race, and it's just you're just going through the motions and things like that. Which
I think it's a rat race, and I think that sometimes, like this is something that I talk with people pretty frequently about as a pastor, is that sometimes you do everything right. It's not a matter of like that you made wrong decisions. Like he's saying here, it's not that you were unmotivated or that you were that you necessarily made decisions to put yourself in a bad spot, like intentionally or anything. It's just that that's the cards that you were dealt, right? That's how life went. But I also say like that's if you look at the people in like Haiti, right? Like I've talked about them before on here, is that the people in Haiti have nothing. They're destitute,
right?
And yet every time I've been there, they're the most joyous people I've ever been around in my life. And so I always kind of say like I think it's not so much about the fact that you're like your life doesn't match up with what you want it to be. I think that everybody across the face of the planet wants something better in some aspect of their life, but your perspective on it and how you handle those things and like the ability to go, okay, my life isn't exactly the way I want it to be right now, but this is God's plan playing out in my life and in human history. And so let me find the places where I can be joyful and let me find the places where I can better things as best I can.
Yeah. Number 4, which this is a great point. Politicians don't lie to protect you. They lie to protect themselves. You're just collateral. Which,
amen, brother.
As recent events occurred, this is 100% case in point. If you completely rely on the government to take care of you, and you do nothing to better yourself and the government fails, you can't.
Listen, I know that we have busted on the government plenty on this podcast before,
but it's just
it
one
holds
of those things.
True. Like you cannot build your life around the government.
Yeah, you can't.
If you're expecting the government, and I mean this on like no matter what side of the aisle you're on,
right, 100%,
because like everybody wants to argue party politics. Newsflash, I don't belong to either party, so you can't hold me accountable to them.
Right.
I don't like the party politics because the moment that you put your identity in a boat and into politics, you are willfully participating in this same thing that Joe is talking about, in lying to cover their butts, the yang back and forth that we see all the time between politicians and stuff. And it's like we're letting people who are acting in evil ways and they're acting in childish ways.
Oh, 100%.
Run our governments and stuff. And part of the reason for that is because we just don't hold them accountable.
Coming from a political science major and a history minor, do yourself a favor, go and read the Federalist Papers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get on a political rant, but if you read those, everything that the early founders of this country were arguing against, we've become. Because they warned about two-party systems because it pits one person against another. You have no broad ideals. It's just basically this or that. Like there's no in between.
Right. Well, and on top of that, let's take a step back and think about what was the mantra of the United States as we separated from Great Britain.
Taxation is theft.
Taxation is theft, but more importantly, like no taxation without representation, right?
Exactly.
That was the cry. And now look at where we are.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, after we get off the political corner.
And then number 5 on there, Joe said, some meetings could have been emails. Some jobs could be deleted entirely. And
say it a little louder for the people in the back. As somebody who has to go to a lot of meetings now, they could just be emails.
Yeah.
And I'm even seeing it where the lack of skilled trade is pushing jobs out that are needed.
Right.
Like welders. Like we have fewer and fewer hand welders where I work.
Right.
And we're getting more and more robot welders.
Yeah.
Because it's consistent, it's safer. You don't have the toxic fumes and stuff to deal with people breathing those in.
Right.
But the reason why we have to go to this is because we're getting less and less skilled labor.
Yep.
And this is a PSA for anybody who's in high school, middle school right now listening. Learn a trade.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go to college. Learn a trade.
Yeah, listen, like love him, hate him, or indifferent towards him. Mike Rose onto something when he's talking about all the stuff that he's doing with the Micro Works Foundation and stuff, and trying to get people to go back into the trades. I mean, he literally has a scholarship fund set up to pay for people to go into the trades and learn them at schools, so they can begin to fill this need, the skills gap that we have in America of exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
We need welders, we need plumbers, we need electricians, we need woodworkers, we need
auto
all that
repair
stuff.
techs. Like that's one place that is really hurting too. I think I was talking with my dad because one of the auto body teacher out at the Wayne County Career Center, they're starting people out at $50 an hour for an auto tech.
Yeah.
Like you can't make that straight out of college.
No, I mean that's
and plus it's the debt that you don't have to pay back.
Right.
Because if you go to the Career Center while you're in school, you don't have to pay anything. And 9 times out of 10, you have a job coming right out of high school, making a good living.
And most of the companies these days that are hiring trade skilled people are hiring people without them having like any kind of knowledge in it yet.
Right.
They'll hire you on, send you to school for like 6 months or however long it takes for you to get your certification in it, get you trained, and then they'll bring you back and kind of train you in their world, how they want you to operate.
Right.
Because they would rather have somebody that knows their business alone and can come in and operate in it. But
exactly.
Yeah, we don't have to go on like a super far rant on this one, but like, and Joe, something funny about the meetings being emails is for a long time when I worked at a previous church and stuff like that, my John Bible, who I've talked about on here before and stuff, was the worship pastor along with me. And we had a little picture that we would text back and forth to each other that was just a blue ribbon in the middle of it. It said, I survived another meeting that should have been an email.
Yep.
And so every time we came out of a meeting that we thought was like just, mind-numbingly worthless, we would shoot that picture over at each other and just kind of roll on with it. So
yeah. And then James Crowley says most underrated and best superhero movie is the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That'll preach.
Hard agree.
That'll preach. That movie was far ahead of its time.
Well, and it goes back to us talking about like movies and AI and stuff like that. All of that stuff was practical.
Yeah, the whole the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, like I told you, like I've said it before because it's kind of like one of my only bragging points as a kid, but went to see them live in concert.
Right, yeah.
And the suits that they were wearing in the concert are the same ones they wore when they were filming the movie and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, I was a kid, but you're sitting there watching and you're going like, this is like crazy realistic looking for CG type stuff, and not CG in the sense like it wasn't computer graphic, but crazy good for
practical effects and stuff like that. It's just like Jurassic Park,
good
like
costumes.
Why the original Jurassic Park movie still looks great today is because most of it's all practical effects.
Yep.
Like you can tell like when it was computer generated, but for the most part, that movie holds up so well.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, James, we totally agree with you, man. 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you haven't seen that movie, if you're listening to this, do yourself a favor and just go watch it.
Like even
Casey Jones.
Even 2, Secret of the Ooze was pretty good. 3 was okay.
Yeah.
But like the whole scene with Raph and stuff, like recovering in the bathtub and Leonardo being all depressed and stuff because he let Raph get hurt and everything like that. Like that was good for like a kid's movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Still holds up today.
Yep.
When we got to episode 43 is where we had the really amazing suggestion come in
from Wyatt
that led to our Disney stories that we did in when you're listening to this last week's episode.
Right.
He gave us the prompt, and it said, in today's podcast, you guys talked about...
It was me describing the Disney movies, and you had to guess which one they were. Like
Yeah. About this Disney animated movies.
Like Beauty and the Beast, Stockholm Syndrome, but make it a musical.
Yes. Yeah. Is that right? So he said, what characters would be in your perfect Disney animated movie? And then he said you need a hero, villain, advisor, which is the sidekick, which is the comic relief, magical character. And he said the rules are you can't have two from the same movie, and the characters must go together. And so, Wyatt, we want to pause for a second and say thank you so much for that. That was an excellent idea, dude. Like we really enjoyed like putting those together and reading them and stuff. So
it was amazing because, like I said in the episode, I came up with my villain first and was trying to build around that.
Right.
And then throwing it into AI and having it write like a movie trailer or like a short film was really cool too.
Absolutely. And then episode 45, I think you put up a post on our social media asking people for like, what were some of your favorite moments and maybe some suggestions and stuff like that to kind of get things fueled up for heading into January with the season 2. And you can read that.
Yeah, and then Wyatt was like, I think my 2 favorite stories from season 1 was the Super Soldier story from episode 20, which was, I can't forget his name. Imo.
Yeah, Imo Wojcik or whatever his name was. Yeah, he was the Polish super soldier
who skied like 20 some miles.
Who took a crazy amount of methamphetamine and then just kept on skiing.
And then he also said the Great Emu War in episode 23, which was great.
Emu War was awesome. That's one of my favorite stories too, Wyatt.
And then also give an honorable mention to the youth group stories. They were funny and entertaining. Another honorable mention is the Peanut Butter Bandit. I remember listening to that while running, and it was hilarious.
I love the Peanut Butter Bandit story. Just that story never ceased to continue ramping up was the great thing about it.
That was I did not know where the story was going to go next.
Yeah, it took so many turns. Like my favorite part of that story to this day, because I think about it every once in a while, is the fact that the cops go to her apartment as her boyfriend is trying to tell the cops that she is not the Peanut Butter Bandit.
Right.
She is standing behind him with quite literally licking peanut butter off of her hand that she used to smear it onto the cars with.
Right.
I'm like, that story doesn't get any better than
the fact that it wasn't even what she thought it was just a regular like town hall meeting. And
yeah. Yeah. Oh no, it was like the water conservation.
Oh yeah, the water conservation group,
the river or something like that group that was like trying to put together plans
not
to keep
a Trump
clean.
rally.
Yeah, not a Donald Trump rally, which is hilarious. Very, very funny. So Wyatt, thanks for those, man. Yeah, we definitely love telling those stories as well, and hopefully in the next season we'll have some more youth group stories that we will bring back around and tell for you guys too. So because we got plenty of those. And I know that we haven't like officially talked about this, but Brooke is like really itching to get on the podcast and tell some like youth group stories along with us too. So
definitely circling back to the comment that Savannah made about pizza not being a sandwich.
Yeah. So Savannah left us a comment because Josh said that pizza is a sandwich, which I argued against and said it was not, that it's a pie, if anything. And then to which you replied, well, pies are just sandwiches too then. I'm like, so you're going down a path I can't follow now, bud. But she said pizza is not a sandwich. And then you two continue to go back and forth in the comments on that one. And so I'll let you take it from there.
So I then considered, if you folded it, then it's kind of like a sandwich, which
I think it's a taco.
And then I said a calzone is definitely a sandwich. And then she promptly replied back that it's not a sandwich. And she posted a picture of it's the
Google search with the description of what a calzone is, right?
So I was thinking, what constitutes a sandwich?
Okay.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Are you asking for my opinion on it?
Yep.
My opinion on it is that a hot dog is not a sandwich.
Okay. So traditionally, a sandwich is 2 pieces of bread, something inside of them, portable and structurally independent.
Structurally independent. That's a very broad term to be using for.
See, I would argue that hot dogs are their own category.
See, I think if you're going to fit hot dog into it, if you're going to try to throw categories out there, a hot dog's also a taco.
No, a taco's a hot dog.
No,
they're exactly the same.
Because you can have a hot dog without toppings. I think with a taco,
you can just have meat.
I don't consider that a taco.
Well, then what do you consider it?
I don't know, man. That's a folded nachos. I'm gonna get real technical about things because I'm like, I like it. Okay, I hold it to the standard of for a taco, right? Because I grew up around a lot of Hispanic people.
Okay.
Their tacos, like Mexican tacos in particular, are not what we have as tacos here in the United States, right? So like our tacos, we have Tex-Mex.
Right.
And so Tex-Mex it gives us the taco that we as Americans are used to, which is either a corn, like hard corn shell, or either a flour or a soft corn shell,
tortilla,
right?
yeah.
Corn tortilla with meat and cheese in it. And typically it is like ground beef with taco seasoning cooked onto it. And then, shredded cheese across the top. And that's like, if you're thinking about Taco Bell right now, it's what you're thinking
standard,
about. Yeah.
what we would consider a standard taco.
So that's like base level taco. The typical taco, like if you do a Google search right now for taco images, I would almost guarantee that the vast majority of them are going to be the shell of some kind, the taco meat that we just described, lettuce, cheese, and possibly diced up tomatoes on it, right?
Right.
Or salsa. Could be either one of those things on top. But that's kind of like, I think for every American, when we say a taco, that's what we think of. When we were with the Hispanic people that I grew up around and stuff, their tacos were typically more of what we would think of as kind of like fajitas in like a taco thing. So it's typically had like onions and some kind of like pepper or something with meat, but the meat was usually in strips, right? So it's like steak that was chopped up into slices or chicken chopped up into slices. But it was always the combo of meat, something else, and usually cheese was like across the board, even in Mexico and here, that holds true. And so I see it from the perspective of that I don't think that we could consider a taco to be a hot dog because you could have a hot dog with no toppings. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing else on it, right? It's just the meat.
So once you put toppings on it, doesn't make it a taco?
So I think that a hot dog could be considered a taco.
Okay.
But I don't think that a taco could be considered a hot dog.
Just like a circle is a square?
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
What about a gyro?
Listen, you asked for my opinions. That's what
Is a gyro a taco? Because literally what you described as a Mexican Hispanic taco.
Yeah, it's a Greek taco.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that.
I agree with that.
I would say so.
I would agree with that. Okay. What about...
Now, if you're asking what constitutes a sandwich, because that was what kind of kicked this off, right? So for me, the sandwich debate comes down to the bread and the kind of position and styling of the bread, right? And so what I mean by that is like everybody out there, when we say sandwich, you think of traditional sandwich is slice of white bread, whatever things you're putting in between, another slice of white bread on top, right? So it's
a starch, food, starch.
Yeah, to some degree, right?
Right.
But it's always like when if you just say sandwich, that typically what people are thinking is that there's two separated slices of bread on either side of some things that are filling the middle. So PB&J in the middle or cheese in the middle if it's a grilled cheese, like all those kinds of things. Now, where things get complicated in the sandwich argument is sub sandwiches. So if I go to Subway and they take their long bread and they slice it down the side and open it, but don't separate the pieces of bread,
which inevitably separate anyway because it's like so thinly cut, then it doesn't become a taco?
No, so that's where...
Or would it be a hot dog?
That's the only place that my argument wavers a little bit. And I would say, no, it remains a sandwich, but I think that it has to do with...
The way you eat it?
I think it has to do with this. Yeah, the way you eat it, like so direction-wise, right? Because you don't hold it like a taco and try to keep everything folded in there. You just grab it like a sandwich and eat it. So I think it's like the fact that you're holding it flat. I think it's also bread to like innards ratio makes a big difference in it too as far as a sandwich go, because like when you think about a taco, when you think about like hot dogs are kind of an anomaly in that in a sense because usually you have more bread than dog. We've talked about that before.
Right.
So I think that with the sandwich thing though, it is like something about the amount of bread and the way that the bread sits makes the difference in whether I would call it a sandwich versus a taco.
Is lasagna a sandwich then?
Is lasagna a sandwich? So I'm going to say no on lasagna being a sandwich only because lasagna typically has something outside of, like on top of the starch. So you usually have pasta and then there's a layer of sauce, cheeses, and that's baked on top of it. And so I would say that makes it a casserole.
So then what if you get like Italian urban cheese bread from Subway? Doesn't that become a casserole because it has cheese melted on top?
No, because it's not completely covering it. Like you don't have to have that to hold the whole thing together. That's just seasoning.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
That little bit that they put on top of that is only made to be seasoning.
Pop-Tarts or ravioli?
Are you saying Pop-Tarts are ravioli?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I got no problem with it. Because I like dry ravioli as much as I like ravioli with sauce on it. So.
And pierogies are just Hungarian ravioli.
Oh yeah, 100%. Delicious Hungarian ravioli.
Right. Corn dogs are beef Wellington.
Corn dogs are beef Wellington. I have to admit something here. I have never had beef Wellington.
I don't think I have it ever either.
I've seen it. Like people have ordered it.
You know what it
me,
is.
So
It's like
I know what it is.
A hunk of meat, some seasonings, and then was it phyllo dough?
Sure.
That's wrapped like pastry dough.
Yeah.
That's wrapped on the outside.
Yeah. I mean, I got no argument against it. It's a fancy person's corn dog. I think that the hang up there is going to be the stick.
But you can eat a corn dog without a stick, though.
You can.
You could put a stick in a beef Wellington and eat it that way too.
But I think, but that's where I think that's where I'm getting hung up though.
It's not its main.
That's not how it's typically done, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say if you stick a stick in a beef Wellington and pick it up and start eating it
like a corn dog
stick, then it is a corn dog. I think before that, I don't know. I could be convinced otherwise.
What about mini corn dogs then? Because you don't have a stick in a mini corn dog.
I don't like mini corn dogs. They don't taste remotely the same as like regular corn dogs.
Yeah. So they're like almost too concentratedly sweet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just think that they're I think the mini corn dogs are like borderline corn dog sacrilege.
Okay.
I just don't like because let's just everybody out there, if you like mini corn dogs, take a deep breath and think about this, okay?
I do like mini corn dogs, but it's more of a convenience thing, and I don't want to eat like 15 regular corn dogs.
But that's my thing though, is like if you're eating mini corn dogs, you're eating enough of them to make up the difference of at least one regular corn dog.
Right.
So why not just eat a regular corn dog?
Right.
They're better. Like they just are.
It's like, hey, do you want to eat 45 tortillas? No. Do you want me to cut them up into little triangles and deep fry them and give you some salsa?
If we fry them and put some salsa in front of me, I bet you will. Yeah. Every time you go to a Mexican restaurant, that's what you do. But yeah, think about that next time you're sitting in a Mexican restaurant and you're staring at those chips and salsa, and think about the fact that
how many corn tortillas you actually
in
ate.
A normal day, you would not just sit down and house that many corn tortillas. But you go to a Mexican restaurant, you're like, well, it's free.
Yeah, right. That's why a lot of them have put like limits on it, like anything after like 2 refills that you have to pay for it.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's like the cheapest thing on earth to produce.
2 more that I want to discuss.
Okay.
Cereal is a soup.
I disagree. Soup constitutes cooking something in a liquid of some kind, and I do not. Number one, you know my disdain for soup,
right?
But number two, I totally disagree.
My argument is there are chilled soups.
There are chilled soups, but they're cooked first and then chilled. Yeah, look it up. You show me one soup that is not cooked first and then chilled when it's served.
All right,
like pea soup is served chilled, but it is cooked. Like those peas are cooked to nothingness in that water before it gets chilled and then served to you.
Watermelon soup isn't cooked.
Watermelon soup.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're gonna have to convince me that there's a thing called watermelon soup.
Okay, I'll look it up. I'll look it up in the break. But yeah,
and that it's a legitimate soup and not just like watermelon mushed up in a bowl.
No. Okay. it's a watermelon. It's a watermelon liquid, and then it's usually garnished with like mint and. Yeah.
What do you mean by watermelon liquid though? That's just blended up watermelon.
Right. But
watermelon
it's not
is
cooked.
Liquid. It's just in like crystallized form.
Right, but it's not cooked. What about borscht?
That's what I'm saying is that borscht is cooked before it's served. But But I'm watermelon
But it's still soup when it's
watermelon
served cold.
soup is not watermelon soup. It's just watermelon juice. They just prefer not to call it juice. That's all that is. Like no, it's like if we squeeze anything else and get the liquid out of it, it's called juice. And because they put it in half of a watermelon and served it to you that way, somebody was like, "Oh, it's watermelon soup."
And then finally, the ocean is a soup.
I got no argument against that. There's places in the ocean that are hot and boiling and stuff, and so there's got to be things being cooked in there. So technically speaking, I don't think you can argue against it.
Yeah, because it has everything you need.
It's cooking in certain places and then it's chilled in others. Yeah, I'm cool with it.
The ocean is a soup. But yeah, I just thought that was really funny because that's usually a very can get very heated when you say hot dog is a sandwich or
right,
it's a taco or Pop-Tarts or ravioli.
I said what I said. Anybody out there disagrees with me? Let me know in the comments.
Please. I know you're going to comment on this one, Savannah, too. So
yeah, you better back me up on everything I said, Savannah. Well, let's start a fight. Before we close out today, I do have something real quick that I wanted to talk with you about, and I'm just going to ask you if you know anything about it first. How much do you know about Pizza Hut's advertising in the early 2000s?
Huh? Like, are you talking about the only thing I remember from the late 90s and early 2000s is the Book It program.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, yeah, aside from that, then.
Yeah, the Book It program was great, though. I got several free pizzas out of that thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, there's an interesting story that came out of the very early 2000s. So, in the late 90s and early 2000s, Pizza Hut, I don't know if you know this, Pizza Hut was kind of taking a bit of a dive. If you remember, at least, I don't know what things were like up here in Ohio and stuff like that, but at least for us in North Carolina, Pizza Inn was kind of taking everything away from Pizza Hut for a long time.
I've never heard of Pizza Inn.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So at least in my hometown where I grew up, that was the place to go. Pizza Inn used to have this chocolate chip pizza that they made that I kid you not, people would fist fight for it in the parking lot.
Really?
It was so good. And so Pizza Hut in particular was taking some big hits in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so their advertising team got together and were like, it's time to go big or go home, right? We've got to do something to kind of to turn the ship around, get things back on track. So throw some things out there to me. If you're an advertising agency in the early 2000s, what would you do?
So I'm trying to think of when, because the other thing I remember,
internet advertising is not big yet.
Yeah, right. Everything about early 2000s, late 90s. Basically, the two things I remember about Pizza Hut is the salad bar, and the pizza bar, and then the Book It program. I'm trying to think. When did their new slogan "Nobody out pizzas the Hut" come out?
That's way more recent.
Is it more recent?
Yeah.
They didn't start doing anything stupid like getting into the pastas and stuff like that, did they?
Oh,
well,
no.
I mean, they did, but
no, it's crazier than that.
Crazier than that?
Yeah,
because I'm trying to think of
you're thinking in-house things that they're doing to advertise. You need to think way outside of their house.
Way outside of their house. So,
way outside of their house.
This isn't like when they started doing the KFC, Pizza Hut, Long John Silver's.
Nope, not that stuff.
Is this when they sold out to Pepsi?
Nope, not that.
Man,
even crazier and even further out.
Wow.
So here's what Pizza Hut decided to do. This is their plan. I'll just read it to you. Pizza Hut struck a deal with Roscosmos, the Russian space agency.
What?
Which was still looking for creative funding sources after the fall of the Soviet Union. So, in the 80s that the Soviet Union fell, right?
Right.
So Russia is now looking for creative ways to be able to fund their space program to continue to send things to outer space. The way that Pizza Hut got involved in this is they contacted them and asked them how much it would cost to paint the Pizza Hut logo on the side of their Russian Proton rocket that was scheduled to launch into orbit with a satellite in the upcoming the early months of 2001.
What? Like that's okay. Just pausing for a second. That would be the last thing I would look at if I'm looking at a rocket. Is the Pizza Hut logo?
It gets worse. First off, the company paid $1 million.
$1 million in the mid to late 80s.
No, $1 million in the early 2000s.
Oh, okay. So
not
probably
crazy, but
so probably about $4 million today.
Somewhere around that ballpark. So they threw $1 million at this. The idea was that this would be the first advertisement visible from space.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Pizza Hut planned to capitalize on this move with a full campaign talking about being the first people to deliver pizza to space. Now, here's the technical hiccup. I love this so much. There was one small problem with the advertising space, or advertising in space.
It's in space?
It's in space, and space is what? Really big.
Yeah.
Really, really big.
Right.
Like our Earth exists inside of space.
Right. And yeah, it hurts my brain every time I think of it.
So to be visible from Earth,
the
logo for Pizza Hut would have had to have been the size of a football field. Like legitimately the size of a full-blown football field.
So you're talking 120 yards long by 53 yards wide.
Correct. It would have had to have been that size, and at that size, it would only have been visible once it was in orbit by high-power binoculars or telescopes. So it's not even like this is not like the naked eye is standing out on your back porch and just staring up and seeing, oh, Pizza Hut. It's like only like people that like looking up at the stars at nighttime are ever going to possibly see this, right? So
could you imagine being stuck out at Point Nemo and the ISS just passes by and there's a big Pizza Hut logo?
Hut, yeah.
Oh man, I'm hungry now.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. So the engineers, when they got together to start talking about taking the logo to outer space, they realized that the logo could only be painted on a very tiny scale. And when we say tiny scale, we mean barely visible to the human eye, even in close-up photos of the rocket ship while it was still here on Earth. So it wasn't even viewable from Earth at all, even with a telescope, is how small the logo ended up being on the front of this Russian rocket. So
it's like the land equivalent of like putting one of those like shore banners that you see like when you're out at the beach out on the back of an SR-71.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what 60,000 feet up in the air,
right,
and going
Mach 3, Mach 3.7,
yeah, flying through. Yeah, like even if you could see where it was, you wouldn't be able to tell what it was.
Yeah.
So, in the end, the world's first quote unquote space ad was an ad that nobody actually ever saw. Now, the one credit that we will have to give to Pizza Hut in the midst of all this is that they did deliver, pun intended, on their promise of delivering a pizza to space. In 2001, they paid the Russians again to actually deliver a vacuum-sealed Pizza Hut pizza to the International Space Station aboard a resupply rocket that they sent up. Here's the things about that pizza. The pizza was, number one, made with salami instead of pepperoni because pepperoni oil spoils too fast in orbit, so they had to use something that wouldn't spoil.
Okay, wait a second. How do they know that?
Oh, I'm sure that there's, like, somebody's taken a pepperoni at least, if not a pepperoni pizza to the
But like everything that goes up is, at least solid food, is all either in paste form or like freeze dried.
It says it was vacuum sealed, so I'm assuming I don't know
like,
how
a lot of it's like freeze dried.
Dude, you're asking me questions that are beyond my pay grade now. But It said it was specially formulated with extra spices on it because I didn't know this. Astronauts' taste buds dull when they're in space, so everything has to be flavored more strongly than it is here on Earth.
I'm guessing probably because of the lack of like smells and things like that, and just smelling like oxygen. Because a lot of your taste comes through your smell.
Yep. And so the final part of it says that the Russian cosmonaut Yuri Usakov ate the first slice that was ever consumed off Earth. So a Russian astronaut's dinner was sponsored by an American fast food chain. Capitalism had finally achieved escape velocity.
Oh my gosh. Like, so, I don't even have words for that. Like,
it's a wild ride, man. I came across this. Came across this and did some deep diving into it. So the funny thing is, like, the space ad, in quotations again, because nobody ever saw it, became a punchline, but also a bizarre piece of marketing history. So, like, Pizza Hut was the first brand to ever advertise in space. Yes, they got that. They were also the first pizza chain to ever deliver a pizza to space. Practically, though, nobody ever saw the logo.
Right.
Nobody, like, it. The amount of people that actually knew that any of this even happened was so minuscule. And then it remains kind of one of the strangest, like, most expensive pranks that the marketing world has ever pulled off.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So the funny thing, like, just some funny footnotes about this is, number one, that NASA refused to participate in any of it.
Rightfully, the first thing a government-run organization said, like, no, we don't need the extra money.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the only time that's ever happened.
Right.
And then the funny thing is that Domino's later responded by announcing plans to open a lunar delivery base as a joke. So Domino's actually came out with commercials on TV of their stores on the moon. Like a picture of their store on the moon and like an astronaut hopping around with their pizza in his hand, stuff like that. Just to make
I vaguely remember.
I
think I vaguely remember that, but I would have not known any of that because I was trying to think back in that time. I want to say realistically, like the other chains were getting bigger.
Yeah,
but like I really only remember like Pizza Hut, Little Caesars,
right,
were like the big ones that I can remember. Yep. Like growing up, and then you have like your smaller chain pizza places.
We had Papa John's pretty regularly when I was a kid, like when I was younger, like high school, like those that would have been 2001 was when I graduated, so those were kind of in my high school years, and we were rocking Papa John's pretty steady. So I think that was
maybe Papa John's and maybe a little bit of Domino's, but Domino's really hadn't taken off. I guess.
Yep. So, one final thing, like as we close out this part, is that a Russian spokesperson was quoted as saying, "Space is open for business."
But like that legitimately gets me thinking. There haven't been any like gimmicky space stuff like that since then, apparently, because I don't remember.
I mean, other than Katy Perry claiming that she's
oh my gosh, that whole thing,
an astronaut now, but. Yeah, that was one of the most laughable things I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
But yeah, it's they haven't done a ton with the space stuff. You would think that at some point in time that another company would have weaseled their way into advertising via the ISS or some kind of program that somebody had going on in space, other than just Virgin saying, "Oh, we can take you up and do dippies in an airplane for a while, and you make you feel like you're floating,
zero gravity."
Yeah, and Katy Perry and all the kooky ladies that went on her ride, or didn't go on their ride, depending on what you believe about that story.
Yeah, it's one of the it's like if you believe that, I could pretty much sell you on that. Nobody's ever landed on the moon.
Yeah. Yeah, if you actually believe that Katy Perry and those ladies went to space, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona I'd like to talk to you about.
Sell you a bridge in Manhattan.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, we want to thank you guys for all of your comments. Thank you for all of your interactions with the social media posts. Please keep it up. We want, when we come back in January, we want to be able to talk through some of your comments. And if you've got things that you want us to talk about,
let us know.
Give us the topics, because we're going to be kind of planning things out. And during December, as often as we can, we're going to get together and record episodes for January. And so as we're kind of rolling into all of that stuff, we need your input. We want your thoughts. Right. If you got if you got interesting stories, interesting topics out there that you would love for us to discuss and hear our funny takes on it, then please shoot those over to us. We'd love to hear them.
Right. And go and check out our link tree. It'll be in the show notes description here, where you can click on our link tree and it will take you to all of our sites, our YouTube, Apple Podcast, Facebook, Instagram. It'll take you all to those places, and go ahead and share that because we would love to have this little podcast grow. And hopefully over our break, it gives you time to catch back up if you're kind of behind on episodes. Go ahead and re-listen to our catalog. That also helps us too. It kind of pushes us up to the algorithms and things like that. And we will see you in the next episode, which I believe will be our first episode of December.
First, sure. Yes. Yeah, should be. You always ask me like all these things and I'm like, I don't know, man. Yeah, so we should be going into our first episode of December. It'll be episode 48 will be the next one after this. And then we have 2 more. We'll take a short break for a couple of weeks at the end of the year, and then we'll be back in January. So you got a couple of weeks to catch up on everything if you haven't listened to all the previous ones. But also, don't forget, let us know what you want us to talk about. We'd love to dive into the topics that you're interested in as well. Other than that, we will plan on seeing you guys in the next episode. We love you very much. Bye.
Dude, my computer is still shutting down.
It's still shutting down?
Yeah, like I had to restart it.
And it's just taking this long to shut down?
Yeah, the entire episode. Well, it's also one of the ones that
I noticed you looking down and freaking out for a second, but I didn't want to ask what it was.
No, it's legitimately still restarting. Like I'm using ChatGPT on my phone because I can't look at it on my computer.
Windows operating systems, man. Fight me.
So we had our presentation stuff for work. Mm-hmm. Dude, I have a greater appreciation for you editing with the ums and everything.
We didn't do too bad the last episode. I don't think I hardly had to edit at all.
That's good.
So we're getting better.
Yeah, it's new equipment. That's what it is.
Yeah, the Roadcaster automatically takes out the uhs and ums. Yeah, is that what it is?